Why? Now it is taking movie. Okay, there we go. Hi. Uh, Camera was not working on the laptop a minute ago. So, real quick, it's video 792. It is Christmas Eve 2022, and I just wanted to just kind of make a milestone video somewhat, just a mile marker. Um, this Christmas just seems so very odd, and Um, this is like the second year of the COVID-19 virus pandemic, and it's so very, very different this year here in the United States. Um, we have access to the virus. I've gotten 2 shots and a booster, 3 shots basically, and I have like basically no fear whatsoever of getting sick or seriously sick, maybe is the better word, from the COVID. I just don't, you know. People that I know boosted. You know, at most we might get sick, but not die. You know, and that's a totally different perspective or place than where we were, a year ago when we didn't have the virus, or it was in development or whatnot. Just a different. But this year for me just seems to be very, very, very different. Um, you know, um, I made mention before I had my surgery. This is going way back. Post-op surgery, GCS. And then I fell into post-op depression. I felt really sad, bad, miserable. I lost my job. Things were kind of crappy. I was unemployed for a year. Severe depression, blah, blah, blah. And, the Christmases, I did my best to try and keep them going. But uh, last year would have been the first Christmas that, like, I had a job. I wasn't severely depressed, blah, 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 blah. But we had the virus, and we were all afraid of dying. And this year, just not that uh, you know, not a thing this year. And so now going forward, it's like it's just a matter of kind of keeping this under control. And I'm very happy not to have, major knock on wood things going on. Things are okay. My daughter's doing well. My mom's okay. You know what I mean? I'm just very thankful for the status quo. You and just kind of curious to see kind of what the future holds. Um, I did kind of have a thought about relationships. I had spoken a little bit with my therapist, about being in a relationship with someone and how kind of I wanted it. And then the other day, I kind of had a realization that one of my coworkers at work, her husband, um, they thought he had a stroke and then he was going to die. And she's 65 years old. She's not ready to retire, but she's of retirement age. I mean, she's 65, right? And so she's been holding off, and for whatever reason. And then her husband wasn't doing so good. Maybe that's why. But and stroke, and her life would just come to a huge wreck, train wreck. And so I kind of had a thought that I wonder about having an emotional attachment to someone else. As much as I want to try and romanticize it or make it out to be something that I want, I almost wonder if we're better off, if I'm better off, let me rephrase that, if I'm better off just being single, you know. Um, Obviously I have my daughter with me for a good 3 more years, but, and definitely I will go through an empty nest when she's gone. But I'm not a helicopter parent. I don't hover over her, you know what I mean? But she's here with me. It's a companion, much like my four-legged children. But again, I wonder about, you know, a friend of mine, Jane Van Meter, I believe, said something to the effect of, in life, we're either angry at someone or we're lonely. When it comes to relationships, there really is no middle ground. You're in a relationship with someone and you're not quite happy with them. They're not quite doing what you want them to do, blah, 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 blah. Or you're lonely and you're lamenting it. There's no way to win, you know. And I just wonder that again, if, this is kind of the ideal situation is not being in a relationship with anyone and being able to survive on my own. Yeah, there are definitely some things that I would like to do that you can only do with someone else when you're in a relationship. But again, like I said, I think in the 90s, it was somewhat called codependency when you lean on someone so much that you can't function without them. And I almost wonder, I think again about like my mom and my dad. The expectation was, from, and they were born in the 40s, that you were going to get married and you were going to have kids and you have this emotional attachment, someone that's got your back. Again, there's a lot of comfort to that. But then when that gets ripped away from you, I can't imagine my mom surviving on her own, you know. Now she'd be welcome to come live with me. Obviously, you know, uh, Katie's, I don't know what Katie's going to do when she graduates high school in 3 years, but, my thought somewhat was to see about getting a three-bedroom house, um, so that I could have a guest room in case my mom does fall ill or unfortunately, God forbid, my stepfather does pass and my mom's on her own. She can't function. I mean, just, it's mm. So, someone who is so accustomed to having someone not necessarily tell them what to do, but to 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 be a partner, to be, you know what I mean? And that's something she's known all her life. And my dad lost his wife, my stepmother, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and I'm sure he's devastated. He's just miserable. I don't know that for a fact because he won't return my phone calls or my texts. Uh, I did send him a letter on Monday of this week, earlier this week. Just a real short one-page letter that just kind of talked a little bit about Katie and what she had been up to and a little bit about me and, kind of like a, hey, I hope we can talk sometime letter, you know. So my door is open, you know. My phone number is, all he has to do is pick up the phone or answer my phone calls. Um, you know, and I don't care if he dead names me. I don't, it's just one of those things. I just want to know my dad's okay, you know, or to again have the same offer for my mom, you know. Uh, I don't know how that would work with my dad, but again, in the old days, in the old country, you know, I was raised under this idea that your parents would, the parents take care of the children and the children grow up and you take, then the parents take care of the grandparents or the kids take care of the grandparents or their parents. You know what I mean? It's like a kind of like a cycle, you know. And that way, you know what I mean? But in my situation, it's just not turned out that way. So, but anyway, Christmas 2022, we'll see, or 2021. So I'm curious to kind of see where we're at next year. Will the virus be taken care of? Will something else happen? We just don't know. We still have a lot of people that don't want to get vaccinated. And, every time this thing mutates, or it needs a host to mutate, right? Replicate, mutate. And as long as there's people that are unvaccinated, this thing is going to continue, until we reach herd immunity, the mythical herd immunity. But I don't know, I'd be curious to see kind of what I think the last plague we had, the Spanish flu of 1904, I think it took 4 years for that to run its course. And so we're only halfway through it, if this is the same thing. But anyway, I hope all is good with you. I can't think of anything else. I'm due to take an estrogen shot. I haven't done it yet. You would think it'd be like, first thing I'm going to do today, but uh, I didn't. Katie and I went and saw a movie and we kind of played. She played Overwatch, I played Fallout, and now we're making a pizza, and it's just kind of nice, just kind of low key. I'll take low key. I'll take low key. So on that note, I'll sign off. I wish you the best of luck in becoming your authentic self, however you define it. I always say the same thing, but I think it's true. Only we can decide what is right best for us. So I wish you the best of luck in discovering that out. Sometimes it takes a while, a long while, and I'm definitely not there yet. I'm still searching far and wide. Who knows? Maybe I'll find someone. I have someone in mind up here, but uh, I feel like I've kind of been burned somewhat. I sometimes feel like the harder you try to be in a relationship, the more you push it away. So um, I'm just trying to be stable, be level. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, like I said. All right. Till next time. Good luck. Bye bye.